For the second night in a row, the Red Sox jumped on the Indians early and improved to 9-0 when they scored first. Zach McAllister's task? Throw up some zeros early in this game and give the Indians hitters a chance to get a lead. The Indians will wrap up the 8-game homestand next on Sports Time Ohio. It's a warm and windy night in downtown Cleveland as the Indians wrap up the homestand trying to avoid being swept at the hands of the Boston Red Sox. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. Boy, Boston is off to a great start. How great is it? Well, they have the third best record already in Major League Baseball this year. They've won 5 straight, and they've done everything well in this series so far.
Well, anytime they get the lead, they're undefeated this year, and they have jumped on the Indians early. They've been very aggressive at the plate with a good idea, taking the ball the other way, and when they score early, they are awfully tough because their pitching has been so good this year. If you give the Red Sox an early lead, watch what the starters do, a 2.30 ERA. They haven't made an infield error this year, only 2 outfield errors, so you don't let them get in front because it's tough to play catch-up against the Sox at this point in time.
Zach McAllister on the hill for the Tribe. John Lester for Boston. Lester in his last 17 road starts, 8 times he's allowed 1 earned run or less. We're back with tonight's play-by-play. Coming up next, both the Indians and the Red Sox have their sights set on big things here in 2013. Who will win the series finale? Will it be a Boston sweep? Well, you never know what's coming up behind you. Stay tuned. Well, welcome to a taste of June here on April the 18th. What an evening we have in downtown Cleveland. Quite a departure from the weather we've had on this entire homestand. Temperature at game time, 81 degrees. Zach McAllister on the hill for the Tribe tonight. Let's look at John Farrell's starting lineup for Boston. Jacoby Ellsbury in the leadoff spot, followed by Shane Victorino, then Dustin Pedroia, who's reached base safely in all 14 Red Sox games. Mike Napoli, Daniel Nava, and Johnny Gomes, then Jared Saltalamacchia, Stephen Drew, and Pedro Siriaco. Ellsbury digs in. He has gone 4 for 10 in the series, and he has scored 3 runs. And he takes outside for ball 1.
Well, just be careful because McAllister coming off a start the last time the Indians won against the White Sox where he pounded the strike zone. I think it was 74% strike, so they will be ready.
Fouled away, 1-1 to count.
Again, you know, the second pitch. They got after the second pitch last night in Masterson. Making the third start this year for Zach McAllister. He's been very good, 12 1/3 innings, just 11 hits. Hasn't walked anybody.
The 1-1 fouled out of play. In addition to the warm temperature here this evening, the wind is coming out of the south at 24 miles an hour. So any ball hit in the air, especially toward right center field, has a chance to really carry well here this evening. A premium on keeping the ball down if you're on the bump.
Well, this is one of those days where you're right. It's warm and strange. It's I don't know why it's so warm today, but it feels pretty darn good.
Sure does. Now the wind by McAllister in the 1-2. Got him looking. Perfect pitch. Ran it in the inside corner, and Ellsbury could do nothing but watch. Let's check in with Katie Witham. She's got more on Zach McAllister in his approach here tonight.
Well, Indians pitching coach Mickey Callaway told me he thinks the Boston Red Sox will have the same approach that they had against Masterson yesterday, which is staying through the ball, taking it the other way. So for Zach McAllister today, it's been very important for him to establish that fastball on the outer third of the plate and also get that curveball working early.
Well, I like that last pitch he just went in to get Ellsbury with. He locked him up inside. He established a way.
Shane Victorino has batted .378 from the left side of the plate.
Yeah, they had 6 hitters that had multi-hit games last night.
Up high with the off-speed pitch, and it's 2-1. Victorino 3 for 6 in the series, and like Ellsbury, who bats in front of him, he scored 3 times. The 2-1.
Nice.
There's that inside pitch.
Yep, very good pitch. You know, not only has Victorino done a nice job offensively, he's done a very good job defensively in the series playing right field. He's made a couple of, run-saving catches out there as well.
Pulls that one on the ground to the second baseman, Cord Phelps. 2 down.
Let's check the Indians defense. It's a key of Indians defense this evening. Brantley in left, Stubbs in center, Rayburn is in right. Aviles at third, Cabrera at short, Phelps at second, Swisher at first with Santana behind the plate. And that's a right-handed hitting lineup. The only lefty in there is going to be Brantley.
Mike Winters, the crew chief, is calling the balls and strikes tonight. Mark Wegner, Laz Diaz, Tim Timmons on the bases. Now Dustin Pedroia looks at a ball low and away. Pedroia has reached safely in every game so far for Boston, longest streak to start the season of his career. And this guy's had some good years. 1-1. Nails the outside corner. And a count 1-2. McAllister fires. Pedroia pops it back out of play and stays alive. Take a look at tonight's keys to the game. Trying to keep the Red Sox off the board early. and create some scoring opportunities offensively. And a lot of that might have to do with the fact that you get behind early in the game and maybe guys start to press a little bit.
Well, Boston's undefeated if they score first, so you want to throw zeros on the board. And really, the table setters have to do it for the Indians. And, you know, tonight it's going to be a little different style lineup. Michael Bourne's not in there, of course, and Kipnis has been out. And when you miss some of those guys in your lineup to set the table.
Almost got him to chase after it, but Pedroia held up. And the count goes full, 3-2. If Pedroia gets aboard, Mike Napoli would be next. Payoff pitch. Popped him up foul, and this might find the seats, but Swisher
it's coming back
near the railing, but not enough room. Any ball hit in the air could be an adventure tonight because you look at the flag and it tells you one thing, but down on the field, the way the wind swirls when it hits the upper grandstand, you never know for sure what it's going to do.
Not until you're out there. Keep your feet moving if you're a ball player out on the field today. If you're an outfielder, keep them moving.
You know the balls hit in that direction toward the flag are going to go in that direction. The 3-2. Nice. Got him looking. Second called, third strike of the inning. Pedroia out looking as the Red Sox go 1-2-3 and a good start for Zach McAllister. Indians lineup is presented by Progressive, making it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. Michael Brantley leading it off, followed by Asdrubal Cabrera and then Carlos Santana. Nick Swisher, who's hitting over 400 at home to start the year, followed by Mark Reynolds and then Ryan Rayburn, Mike Aviles, Court Phelps, and Drew Stubbs.
Well, John Lester on the mound off to a very good start this year. He is 2-0. He won his first two starts, had a no decision, and just pitched beautifully in his last start against Tampa. He went 7 innings, 5 hits, allowed just 1 run, and had that no decision. But he is off to a tremendous start between he and Buchholz. The two of them, they're holding their own.
Michael Brantley looks at a strike over the outside corner.
And you know, with Lester, I mean, last year he's had some problems, but this guy always a top left-hander. He throws hard, good breaking stuff, good changeup, and if healthy and on his game, is as good as anybody.
Brantley 2 for 7 in the series, and he has 5 hits in 25 at-bats on the homestand. Back out of play. And Brantley down on the count, 1-2.
John Lester is 5-1 in 11 career starts against the Indians. He is 3-0 in 7 starts in this ballpark.
Swung on and missed. He strikes out Brantley to start the ball game.
Set the defense for the Sox. Second in the league, have only made 2 errors. Navas in left, Ellsbury in center, Victorino in right. Siriaco at third, Drew at short, Pedroia at second, Napoli at first with Saltalamacchia behind the dish. And you can see Shane Victorino, 3 outfield assists. Had one last night. Throwing out Chisnall at second base.
As Dribble Cabrera lifts one out of play. Down low. Strike over the outside edge, and Cabrera falls behind 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1 for 8 in the series for Cabrera. Just 4 hits in his last 38 at-bats. Terry Francona has the kind of confidence in Cabrera that says, you know, as cold as he's been in his first 50 or so at-bats, he could get just as hot in his next 50. And he believes that Cabrera will come out of this and start swinging the bat the way everyone feels he can.
He will. Right now he's pressing a little bit. He's trying to do a little too much because, you know, you're struggling. He hit the ball right on the nose last night. Victorino ran one down.
2-2 is popped to right. Victorino grabs it 2 away. Well, we knew Boston coming into the series would be playing with heavy hearts given what happened on Monday at the Boston Marathon. With more on the team's state of mind, here's Katie.
Well, Matt, it may have been 3 days since the tragedy of the Boston Marathon, but it's still very much in the forefront of these guys' minds. You can see right there on the back of John Lester's hat, he stitched 617. You know, to honor them. They also have a jersey that they made before they came out game 1 against the Indians that they still have hanging in their dugout. Boston 617 strong. And Indians fans have been great. They made a sign that they gave some of the Red Sox players that they also hung in their dugout that just said Cleveland is behind you. And it just goes to show what, in even something like this that's bad, how good it can be in bringing people together. And it has been that here in Cleveland.
Thanks, Katie. 2 down here, bottom of the first, no score. Carlos Santana with a 1 ball, 1 strike count. 617, the area code in Boston, and the idea for that came from one of the new guys in that Red Sox dugout, Johnny Gomes. Jared Saltalamacchia was thinking about it Monday night. What can we do? We need to do something, and he came up with the idea we should hang a jersey, and what should we do with that jersey? And it was Johnny Gomes who said, how about the area code 617?
Yeah.
And Saltalamacchia said, that's a great idea. Let's do it. Chop foul, third base side. It also goes to show you, Rick, and we've known this about Johnny Gomes because we've watched him for years on different clubs, how quickly he has become a leader on a Boston team that has a lot of veteran players and has guys who've been there for a long time, like Pedroia, like David Ortiz. Yeah. But Gomes has already become a go-to guy in a leadership role.
You remember how he was in Cincinnati when he was there, and then, you know, they ended up re-signing him. He went out to Oakland last year. He was a big part of that clubhouse with Reddick and those guys.
Talk to anybody. Drew Stubbs loved him. Said, great teammate, guy comes to work.
Yeah.
He's positive. He lifts everybody's spirits every day. He's already had that impact for Boston. Here's the 2-2 to Santana, and it's outside a full count.
Well, Boston will turn around after this series, and they head right back to Boston for tomorrow.
Yeah,
so,
that's going to be quite an emotional scene, I'm sure.
It will be emotional, but I think it'll be good for these guys who haven't spent any time there, you know, since it happened, and also for the fans there to maybe heal.
Yeah, no doubt.
A little bit quicker. We'll see, but it's certainly not going to hurt.
3 balls, 2 strikes with 2 down, bottom of the first, no score. Carlos Santana trying to stop an 0 for 8 slide.
He's had a good at-bat against Lester, making him throw some pitches here. Again, the 3-2. And that's smashed into left field, so Santana stops his slump with a base hit with 2 down here in the first inning.
Carlos got a little long swing going the last couple of days, but that was a good at-bat to get you going in your first at-bat. You foul off some tough pitches, you get one to your liking, and you get a base hit. Wasn't trying to leave the yard on that swing and hit a line drive.
Nick Swisher, 3 for 7. Big home run last night in the ball game that got the Indians offense rolling, got them back into the ball game. Nick is off to a good start. He's hitting .350 from the right side of the plate against the lefties.
He had the big home run on Saturday against Chris Sale after they were down 2-0, come and bring them right back in the first inning, and that was a McAllister ball game.
Called a strike. Swisher thought it was inside. 1-1.
Well, if Lester can throw that pitch for a strike to the righties today, because a lot of times lefties like to throw that cutter and come in off the dish. If you can throw it for a strike, they could be in for a long day.
Well, it makes the changeup
much
more
opens
effective.
up that outside part of the plate. Absolutely right.
1-1. Low. And a 2-ball, 1-strike count for Swisher.
See, that's a pitch that normally lefties like to get the right-handers to swing at when they get 2 strikes. But if they prove it early in the count that they can throw it for strikes, righties could be in for a long day. But if they miss and they take it like he does right there, you get yourself into a decent count.
Lester's 2-1. Big chopper behind the bag. Pedroia's throw is in time, and the Indians are out here in the first. After 1, no score. Is brought to you by McDonald's new Premium McWrap. Try one today. And by Kia. Gorgeous night here at the ballpark. No score. Second inning. Mike Napoli, Daniel Nava, Johnny Gomes due up for Boston. Zach McAllister with a 1-2-3 first. A couple of strikeouts. Mike Napoli comes in with a 6-game hitting streak. And he's been a terror in the series, going 4 for 10 with 5 runs batted in and 3 doubles.
Well, he's had an opportunity to
drive in a little city, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, he's been up in situations where bases loaded, it seems like every time he comes to the plate.
In his 10 plate appearances, he's had 17 men on base.
Wow. That's getting the opportunity. That's setting the table for the big boy.
4 at-bats with the bases loaded. I mean, that tells you the story right there. Here's a pop to right.
See what this ball does in the wind.
Carrying pretty well. Back to the wall. Rayburn looks up, and it goes off the fence.
That should tell you everything you need to know.
Napoli's going to turn and go for 3. Rayburn's throw is cut off, sort of. And Napoli is in with a leadoff triple, and that ball just kept on carrying. And Rayburn kept drifting back, and he never did get to it.
That should tell you everything you need to know. If that ball is in the air, if you're an outfielder, play deep and let it come to you. That's a breaking ball away. Look, that's just a routine fly ball, folks. But look what the wind does. It sends Rayburn, and it almost gets out of the ballpark. And then he had to go back thinking he was going to catch it, and then he runs himself right by it. The ball deflects past him, and that gives Napoli a triple.
Almost looked like at the end he thought it was going to be gone, and looked up and
it was too late to let the ball come back to you and hold him to a double. By the time it gets past you, it's a 3-bagger for
Daniel Nava. Drives him home with a base hit. 1-0 Red Sox. So Boston scores first again.
Aggressive early. This one he's going to try and get it in, but he doesn't get it in. That's one of the few mistakes, and it's elevated. So Nava takes advantage of it. That pitch left out over the plate drives in his 10th run. As you mentioned, Boston will take the early lead.
Now Johnny Gomes in the DH spot tonight. That's where he has started every game so far with Boston. Interesting in that Gomes, the right-handed batter, is just 1 for 12 so far against lefties. But
yeah,
normally you think he's in there, he's going to tear up left-handed pitching. He's actually swung better against right-handers.
That's why John's probably Farrell is getting him in there to see both sides of it.
Yeah,
he's going to get the water comes back up to that mark when you have success against lefties.
2 balls, no strikes.
He does have 9 walks, though. He and Pedroia are tied for the team lead, so he's been getting on base. Pretty good eye at the plate.
Walked 3 times in the series. Gomes, another guy who he has a spread out stance, but we mentioned when we were playing Chicago about Alexi Ramirez, the White Sox shortstop. Look how far up in the box Gomes stands. His front foot is all the way up near that line.
That's a rarity because you know why? He loves the fastball. You can't throw it hard enough for him.
Yeah, normally guys who like the fastball want to get a little farther back in the box, give them just a little more.
Guys want to see it a little longer. The ball when they stand back in the box. You realize how quick you are if you get up in front of the plate. You don't have to worry and wait on it. Sometimes it's better for some hitters.
2-2 fouled back. Slowly chopped towards third. Aviles on the shortstop. Goes to second. They get the force there. And Gomes is down at first, but they erase Nava on the fielder's choice. And I'll tell you what, that's a do-or-die pick by Mike Aviles. Our stat of the game brought to you by your Northern Ohio Buick dealers. And the Red Sox, of course, we just played the Yankees on this homestand as well. 2 clubs, 2 of the 3 in baseball, and when they get the lead early, they don't give it back.
And they've had it every game against the Indians this year. The Yankees for 2 because the 2 were rained out. Now this is the 3rd straight for the Red Sox. And this last game yet to be determined.
Jared Saltalamacchia 0 for 5 in the series.
Well, you certainly want ground balls today. After we saw the triple by Napoli.
Whew.
where he popped up a little breaking ball that was not a bad pitch, and it carried all the way to the wall. He did not want to make many mistakes today.
Threw it by him. 21 out of McAllister's 30 pitches so far have been strikes. He's been aggressive. But that sort of meandering fly ball that eluded Ryan Rayburn, leading to a Red Sox run here in the second as they grab the early lead. Oh, 2 pitch and fouled back out of play. Wants a fastball up. Popped it up on the infield of Vilas. Makes the catch, 2 down.
MLB.com At Bat is the #1 source for live baseball everywhere you go. Available for iPhone, iPad, Android, and BlackBerry 10. At Bat delivers Indians baseball with live audio, pitch tracking, stats, news, highlights, and more. Text At Bat to 31826 or visit Indians.com for the details.
Stephen Drew steps in. Now I told you about Gomes, who only has 1 hit in 12 at bats against lefties as a right-handed hitter. Drew is his counterpart. The left-handed batter is just 2 for 13 against the right-handers so far this year. Down low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Stephen Drew is part of that Oakland club last year after he was traded by Arizona, helping them get to the postseason. Wow, awfully good looking pitch. And the count is now 2-1. That finds the inside corner. Evens it up 2-2. When he's been able to go in and get that pitch for a strike, it's been very effective. He tried to do that with Daniel Nava, but as you pointed out on the replay, it leaked back over the plate.
Yeah, well, make sure you get it in there because it looks like that's a side of the plate that you're getting the calls on.
Drew is swinging a foul tip. 3rd strikeout for McAllister. But Boston takes the early 1-0 lead, middle of the second. 1-0 Boston on top. Bottom of the second inning. It will be Mark Reynolds, Ryan Rayburn, and Mike Aviles. Mark Reynolds, 1 for 6 with a double in the series, takes down and in for ball 1. Just missed outside, 2-0. John Lester admitted before the game that it was going to be a little weird with Terry Francona in the other dugout, not wearing the familiar Red Sox gear, but wearing the Indians uniform. Lester and Francona had a very good and very strong relationship while in Boston. The 3-0 now to Reynolds is in there for a strike.
It is always weird if you play for a guy for so long, and when you first come up, and he's gone, and last year he was in the television booth at ESPN, and then all of a sudden you face the guy that was in your dugout. It's strange, but once that game starts, you don't think about it.
That's a fair ball. Reynolds thought it was foul, and now a fan grabbed it, so Mark is into second base. Wow, John Farrell's going to come out and argue because Reynolds was so late getting out of the box. Farrell's argument, I don't know if he's going to argue the fair or foul call, or if the fact that maybe Reynolds shouldn't necessarily be given second base.
Well, Siriaco.
See, that's what they're talking about.
What's that?
Second base. Farrell's argument is that Reynolds got a late break, and John Farrell's argument is that you don't have to give him second base, and he didn't think he should have been awarded second.
Well, let's see. That is a fair ball. You see it go over the bag. Good call right there. It hits the line.
Yeah, that was not argued.
Okay.
Then when the fan interference call came into play, John's argument was if my guy gets to the ball, he's not going to second base. And he might have had a legitimate argument there.
Yeah, but rarely will you win that battle right there. Let's take a look at what Reynolds did. I didn't actually see him just say up there. It wasn't that bad. He just stood there for a split second, but
I'm telling you, if you look at the wide angle, I don't think that it wasn't a given that he was going to make it to second. But again, the Indians will take it. He's in scoring position. Ryan Rayburn trying to at least move him to third here.
Well, execution now. You want to come right back on Boston and get that run back, if not more. Because the way they have played, they've been adding on.
Up high, 2 balls and a strike.
Yeah, for Reynolds, that's his 4th double.
Well, he had the double last night, and you thought, well, they're going to keep that inning going, and then they went to the bullpen, and
it was Boston.
Tozawa slammed the door on their fingers.
It was Boston's bullpen's turn to shut him down for 4 innings. No hits.
Rayburn fouls it back. Ryan has swung the bat well, especially against the left-handers.
He's a good fastball hitter.
He's hitting 3 straight games now. Back out of play. Count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes. Just to finish up on Lester, talking about facing his former manager, Terry Francona, he said, the key for me is to go out and do exactly what he taught me to do when I played for him, which was don't worry about all that other stuff. Just go out and do your job between the lines. The 2-2. Ryan Rayburn
Nice.
sends one high in the air, deep right field. Back is Victorino. Still going back. Makes the catch. Reynolds tags and goes to third. One away. So the Indians get that tying run to third base with one out. Nice job by Ryan Rayburn. Here's the Firestone Complete Auto Care Extra Mile Index. Victorino, among active outfielders, the highest fielding percentage, and we've seen it. It's been on display already in this series.
And, you know, when he was in Philadelphia, he was playing center field. He went to L.A. and briefly, but he's playing right. He can still go get him.
And good throwing arm. He threw out Lonnie Chisenhall at second base.
3 assists this year, which leads the league to this point.
Mike Aviles chops one foul, third base side. No, he took one away from Mike Aviles in game 1 of the series. And then last night, off the bat, Cabrera said, "I thought I hit it really good."
He did.
And Victorino was able to run it down.
He did hit it. Both those balls.
Terry Francona said off the bat, "I thought it was a double for sure."
Sure. I'll tell you, there's nothing more frustrating.
This will get the run home.
There you go.
And the Indians tie the game as Aviles picks up his 5th RBI. Reynolds comes home to score after the leadoff double. And the Indians come back to knot the game at 1 apiece.
There you go. You get them on, get them over, get them in. So now you're starting all over again. So Aviles puts it in play, sends Siriaco to his left.
Cord Phelps looking for that first hit of the year. A little bit outside with it. Phelps a switch hitter. 0 for 5 in his time with the Tribe since getting the call up. In a good spot here, 2-0. Ground ball right at the shortstop, Stephen Drew. And the inning is over. But Mark Reynolds' leadoff double brings the Tribe back. We are tied at 1. Pedro Siriaco, Jacoby Ellsbury, and Shane Victorino. Just a perfect night here at the ball yard. Wind started to die down a little bit now. I tell you what, the fans deserve a break in the weather, because the folks who have been coming out here on this homestand have not had even one decent night, really, for the most part. It's been cold, if not rainy.
Well, this is spectacular.
Yeah. And in typical early spring Cleveland fashion, by Saturday the high will be 46.
True, but we'll be in Houston in a dome by then, so you won't have to watch a ball game, in the cold weather.
3-0. And Siriaco takes its ball 4.
Well, not what you want to do if you're Zach McAllister.
It's
because
the first walk he's issued this year.
Yeah. Well, the next of 15 Sugardale Dollar Dog Nights will take place Friday, May 3rd. It'll be against the Minnesota Twins. It's a 7 o'clock start. You can get your tickets. Just go to Indians.com.
Jacoby Ellsbury out on strikes his first time up. Ellsbury riding a 7-game hitting streak, and he has a hit in 12 of the 14 games played this year. Certainly a welcome sight in Boston, where the Red Sox have been waiting for Ellsbury to just get healthy, stay healthy, play a full season, put up the kind of numbers they think he can.
This guy's an electric player, man, when he's healthy. Remember a couple of years ago, he could have very easily won the most valuable player award in the league that year. If it turned out differently for Boston, he probably should have. He can hit with power. He can steal bases. He's an excellent center fielder. Dynamic player.
Siriaco is aboard to start the frame, and now Ellsbury 2-0. Siriaco has 1 steal. And that's a strike to run the count to 2-1. Bounced on the ground to short. Cabrera goes to second. There's one. Phelps turns, but not in time.
Nice try.
Heck of a job by Cord Phelps with the runner bearing down on him. But he got off a pretty good throw to first, but Ellsbury with that great speed beats it out.
Nice try. I mean, there's not much you could do with Ellsbury running. Cabrera got rid of it quickly to him, and it looked a little low, but Phelps, I'll tell you, turned it nicely. Short hop, Swisher picks it. You're not going to double up
got to be hit right
Ellsbury
at you.
unless it's a one hopper and you just flip it out of the way. He runs down the line too well.
Now Shane Victorino, who bounced to second his first time up. Well, just when I thought that wind had died down, it kicked right back up again.
Up at our level.
Yeah, we're feeling it. I think it is shifting a little bit, Rick. It's coming more straight in from left now than it was earlier, but as you said, those outfielders keep the feet moving. You've got to constantly be checking the flags, probably.
Well, yes, you do. Every inning and every pitch or every batter, you should at least look up there and see what's happening, because it'll change on you. And I'm thinking you can play a little deeper in right field as well.
Oh, and 2 the count on Victorino. Toss to first, drives Ellsbury back. 6 steals for Ellsbury. And he has not been caught yet. He threw him a little sinker there. It looked like a handcuff swisher, didn't it?
Well, that's the one where you just want to catch it. But you have to pay attention to them. You have to keep them close and then, change your pattern of throwing the baseball to home.
Popped him up.
I like that pitch.
Aviles, foul ground. 2 down. Right now on FoxSportsOhio.com. What's next for the Cavaliers now that they have fired head coach Byron Scott? Pat McManaman on what it will take to get the Indians headed in the right direction and see what to expect in the Browns draft next week. I believe it begins next Thursday night. Get complete coverage of all today's action involving Ohio sports on FoxSportsOhio.com. Dustin Pedroia out on strikes his first time up. Looks it's low. Ball 1. Ellsbury was jumping around like he was going to go.
He was going to go.
McAllister held the ball.
He tried to time him, and that was a good thing. I don't even know if Zach knew it, but he held it enough to where, Ellsbury started to go and then hesitated.
Now draws a throw.
See, now you give the hitter his chance to get his pitch in a 2-0 count. Let him sit on his pitch. Don't take off and interfere. If it goes to 2-1 count, then you can do what you want to do. Give him one chance to take his 2-0, get his pitch he likes.
And a 2-0. A little bit outside. 3 balls, no strikes. Second 4-pitch walk of the inning.
Well, of course, we're going to bring a guy up that has had 19 base runners now. Watch this breaking ball he hits to right field, just a pop-up, and watch the wind. Look at Rayburn, back, and man, off the wall, high off the wall. Ricochets by him, and he gets into third base, and that's how Boston scored their run, because Nava, the next hitter, came up and hit the first pitch for a base hit.
Napoli won't have many stand-up triples in his career, but that one was just perfectly hit off the top of that wall, and once it skipped past Rayburn, it was smooth sailing for Napoli.
Look at that.
Double steal.
Stop him. That a boy.
Ball gets away from Phelps, but Ellsbury stays at third.
That's the best chance Carlos had. It was smart for him to go for the trailing runner, because Pedroia, it's a double steal. They'll get credited with 2 stolen bases. But he wasn't going to get Ellsbury. Look at the jump. So you go for the trailing runner. Even though Pedroia did have a good jump, he had a better chance of getting him.
The problem is did you see how far off Pedroia was? I mean,
yeah.
He had a huge lead to start with.
Well, those two might have a sign, first thing, let's go. So they're second and third now. It's a good job on their part of being aggressive.
Now a key spot for McAllister to bear down on Napoli, the 0-1. Just a little bit outside. Napoli wouldn't bite. And again, it's up and away. 2 balls and 1 strike. That found the outside edge. That evens the count at 2-2. The Red Sox at second and third with 2 down here in the third. Tied at 1. McAllister right around 20 pitches in the inning. But a chance to get out of it. And now they can't get on the same page. Saw this a few times last night with Justin Masterson and Carlos Santana.
Well, you make sure. That's all there is. Any question, any call timeout, go out there. This is a big out here for the Indians and Zach McAllister.
The 2-2. Out of play. Rick, everything in this at bat, it seems, has been away. He's got to come in once, doesn't he?
Well, you've got a pitch to use right now. You don't have to throw him a strike here. If you come in off the plate. See if you get him to chase. But that's going to have to set up your next pitch if you don't come in.
He goes away with it again. It came back in.
See, that's what I like. It came in. There was a little two-seamer he likes to throw that ended up running in on his hands. Even though Santana was sitting away, he missed his location, but it still tied him up inside. You see where he had to pull those hands in?
Sure did.
That's why I didn't mind that pitch going inside or calling it in.
Like you said, if you're going to go in, make sure you get it in.
Yeah, you get it in, and if you miss, then you could go on 3-2. You could go break a ball away, or you can double up inside. This is a big, strong guy, and just don't miss middle of the plate.
Back out of play.
See, it's easier for him to extend those arms and flick it foul than it is to stay inside. Especially after the first hit he got on the breaking ball away where he just popped it up and the strength carried it to the wall.
So be the 8th pitch of the at-bat. Swung out and missed. He struck him out. Blew the fastball by Napoli to end the inning, and the Red Sox strand a pair at second and third. Tonight's game brought to you by Miller Lite. 1-1 our score. Bottom of the third. It will be Drew Stubbs, Michael Brantley, and Asdrubal Cabrera. Drew Stubbs has hit in 3 straight games. High fly ball to right. Victorino will make the catch, one away. Back downstairs we go. Here's Katie.
Well, Matt, the Indians' approach tonight is to attack John Lester the same way that they did to David Price. They really want to be patient, force Lester to work out there, but the key really for the right-handers is to lay off that inside cutter that he has.
Well, the other thing that Lester does well, for me, is he changes eye level. I mean, he'll show you the high heater, and then he'll go with a changeup or breaking ball.
Well, and the thing, if he goes to strike one, it's tough to be, wait for him to get in the zone because you got to get after it. He's got too many weapons to put you away. If he makes a mistake, you better hit it. See, there's a pitch that Michael had to hit. You don't want to foul it off. He got a fastball. He was down in the count 1-0, and you fouled it off. And this is the only left-hander in the lineup, so.
Right back, it's 1-2 now. No, that's one thing that Lester has done a terrific job of, really throughout his career for the most part. Throws a ton of strikes, doesn't walk anybody. You don't get many free chances.
No, he's 3 walks, 19 strikeouts so far this year. And that's the thing. I mean, it's easier said than done. Oh, yeah, you get your pitch, you got to hit it. But, I mean, it's tough to center on a ball that's in, out, up, cutting, Not an easy thing to do.
Brantley shoots it out of play.
See, when he's at home in Fenway pitching and that cutter coming into the right-handers, that's tough to hit with that. And he has to pitch right-handers in over there because of that monster. But this guy's been so good on the road. As you mentioned, 17 road starts since last year. He's 8-4. Allowed 1 earned run or less in 8 games away from Fenway Park. So it doesn't matter where he pitches. He's keeping you in the ball game.
Brantley staying alive. Good at bat here. Fouls it back. Well, I mean, just give you an idea how good Lester has been and to give you an idea how difficult it can be to succeed as a left-hander at Fenway Park. If he wins tonight, he'll pass Lefty Grove for sole possession of 3rd place among Red Sox all-time left-handers.
Well,
I don't know about that call. That did not look like a strike, especially the way Mike Winters has been calling this game up to this point. That was very generous to John Lester.
How often do you see Michael Brantley this upset? He's not a guy that complains, and that is no way. That's a bad call. He took the bat right out of Brantley's hands there. He's got a legitimate beef, and he's got to let him know about it, but there's nothing you can do to change it. Bad call. I mean, you work hard up there for that at-bat. This guy doesn't need pitches out of the zone.
That's a ball to Asdrubal Cabrera, who flied to right his first time up.
You don't see Michael that upset. If he strikes out, he makes it out, he's fine with it, but not like that. Look at that big slow hook, 74 miles an hour to take you off the cutter, the fastball, the change.
1-1 our score, home half of the 3rd as Asdrubal Cabrera awaits the 1-1 pitch. Takes 2 balls and a strike.
That's the area he's been calling all night for both left-handers and right-handers, that part of the plate, towards the left-handed batter's box. You see, he'll sit inside, but that's a pitch he's been calling a strike all night, and it has been for both pitchers.
Now the 2-2. And he strikes him out. Indians go 1-2-3. We remain tied at 1. Indians, Red Sox tied at 1. It'll be Daniel Nava, Johnny Gomes, and Jared Saltalamacchia for Boston. Zach McAllister, 60 pitches, 37 of those have been strikes. Pitched out of some trouble in the 3rd inning. He's given up just the 1 run on a wind-blown triple by Mike Napoli that was turned into a run when Daniel Nava drove him home with a base hit. One and one to count. Nava leads the Red Sox with a .429 on-base percentage. And it's only a little bit surprising to me. The reason I wrote it down was because I was recalling game 1 of this series when he struck out all 4 times that he came to the plate.
One of those nights,
yeah,
I guess.
Fouled right back. And the funny thing was they took him out before his 5th at bat. And I forget who it was that pinch hit him for. And then that guy struck out too.
Yeah, that's true. Hold on, let me look at that. You're right.
Was that Gomes maybe?
It was Carp.
Mike Carp, yeah, that's right.
Carp that came up in that game. Well, that's when the Indians bullpen had 16 strikeouts, so everybody was striking out.
Back out of play. Zach McAllister with a 2-2. Upstairs, a full count. There's Johnny Gomes in the on-deck circle, and Gerald Saltalamacchia will follow him. The 3-2.
Nice.
Struck him out looking.
That's the part of the plate he's been calling all night. And left-handers disagree, but he's done it to both sides. McAllister gets strikeout number 5. And this is a Taylor that whips back over the inside corner. See the movement on it? Comes back. That's right there. That is a vicious pitch to left-handers. It's tough to believe that that ball is going to come back. I think the best one right now in the game is Bartolo Colon that has that little comeback or that little slingshot that comes back. But there's a few pitchers that do it. And I'll tell you, that's a tough pitch with 2 strikes to the left-hander. It's almost you started at his hip and it comes back across.
Johnny Gomes takes an off-speed pitch for strike 1. And he goes to the outside edge and gets strike 2. It's 0-2. Ooh.
Good try. Good try after the 2 hooks. He starts this one off the dish to try and get it to come back. You see where Santana's sitting? It started moving. It stayed away. It moved in, but not quite enough. But I like that 2-0 pitch. I like it a lot.
0-2, yeah, 0-2, right.
You know, you're not giving him anything to hurt you with or anything to. You're not giving him much to hit. And if he swings at it, he's not going to do anything with it.
Now the 1-2. Swung on and missed. He changed speeds on him. And Gomes way out in front. A half dozen Ks for McAllister. Let's go back to the Hyundai Studios right now for an in-game update with Al Pawlowski.
Hey, Matt, Rick, let's go north of the border. White Sox and Blue Jays. 1 run scored here in the bottom of the first. An Edwin Encarnacion single. And that's all R.A. Dickey has needed to this point. A 2-hit shutout into the 5th inning. Blue Jays up 1-0. Matt?
All right, thanks, Al. I'm sure they're thrilled in Toronto. They've been waiting for R.A. Dickey to pitch like an ace.
Well, you got to get a win. Still a close ball game, but he is very capable.
Jared Saltalamacchia 0 for 6 now in the series. Popped one up on the infield. His first time up. Swung on and missed. Boy, McAllister.
He's gone to that hook this inning, and it's been very effective the second time through, hasn't it?
Yep. That's making the adjustment as we talk about in baseball. Zach's 75th pitch of the night coming up right here. Another one.
Oh, that's a good one.
Man.
Well, that's just a good pitch. It's flat out a good pitch. Even if it's not called a strike, you're planting a seed in that hitter's mind that, hey, this guy can throw that pitch at any time. So you keep them back because they have to look for it. You know, so that just opens up his fastball. He can throw it by him upstairs on the 4-seamer. It's a good pitch for him.
Indians play that shift with Saltalamacchia at the plate. 2-2. Another foul back. Terry Francona talked about Carlos Santana trying to beat that shift last night with a little walking. You called it Miguel Delaney. He recalled Vic Davalillo.
Well, his dad played here with Vic, so he remembers that.
And he said, at the time, I understand what Santana was trying to do there. He said the footwork probably wasn't where it needed to be on that attempt.
It wasn't bad for a guy in the middle of the lineup.
Wow. McAllister has been so close on a number of pitches tonight. Now a 3-2 count for Saltalamacchia. The payoff pitch. Ripped deep right field. And gone.
Came up with a high fastball.
Boston regains the lead 2-1. Saltalamacchia's 3rd home run on the year. That was a laser down the right field line. But I'm sure, Zach's saying, man, I think I had him struck out. But he gets another chance.
Well, let's see the location. They want it in, and it's out over the plate. You see it come back. That comeback fastball, you can't start it in. You got to start it off the plate to let it come in. That's where it locks the hitters up. If it starts in and it leaks back out over the plate, that's where you get hurt. And that's what happened to him there. It was coming back belt high, middle of the plate.
Stephen Drew struck out his first time up. Takes a strike. Ground ball to Cabrera. And his dribble throws him out. The inning is over, but the Red Sox come back and regain the lead on the homer by Saltalamacchia. Fourth, Carlos Santana, Nick Swisher, and Mark Reynolds due up for the Tribe. Carlos Santana has one of the Indians' 2 hits tonight. It came with 2 outs in the first inning. Curveball in for a strike to Santana. Fly ball to left field. Nava takes care of that one away. Here's our great clip of the game from last night. Nick Swisher. Alfredo Aceves waved goodbye to the bullpen. A 2-run shot. Next man up, Jason Giambi. His first hit as an Indian. Back-to-back homers got the Tribe's offense rolling. Great clips. It's going to be great. Third oldest player to homer for the Indians, according to John Krepop, who dug through the history books last night.
He did so much work last night, he had to show up late today.
Well, he told me there was a reason for that.
Oh, I'm sure there was. What is it?
Pulling double duty over across the way. Hockey team got here late. He had to pull their bags. He was loading up the locker room over there.
If it comes to a hockey team, then we're second fiddle. There's no question about that.
He is a hockey puck, as Don Rickles would say.
He's in it for the team.
The 0-2 to Nick Swisher.
That 4-seamer there. That wasn't a cutter. That was a 4-seamer to straighten him up and get him off the plate. Maybe he comes back in there now again. Cutter.
Low with a breaking ball. Tribe down 2-1 here, home half of the fourth. Tops it foul. Boston trying to run their win streak to 6 in a row before they head back to Fenway for a series tomorrow night. The Indians trying to stop a 3-game losing streak before they head out on a 10-game, 11-day road trip.
Yeah, we come back April. Well, it's the last day of April. And then we have the Philadelphia Phillies.
Weak tapper to first. Lester covering. 2 down. Here's our AT&T trivia question for tonight. 3 players in Red Sox history have had 200 or more hits, 30 or more homers, and 100 or more ribbies in a season. Who are those 3 players? Up and away for ball 1. Swing and a miss by Mark Reynolds, who doubled and scored the Indians' only run in the second. Little bit outside. 3 balls and a strike. And Reynolds swings through it. And a count. 3 balls, 2 strikes with 2 down. And the base is empty here in the 4th. Payoff pitch. Inside, ball 4. First walk issued by John Lester, just the 4th he's allowed so far this year in 22 2/3 innings of work.
Well, the Indians have lowered prices on all your favorite ballpark fare here at Progressive Field. You can get $4 12-ounce domestic beers and $3 Sugardale hot dogs at every game. Just log on to Indians.com for your tickets.
Down in the dirt. 1 ball, no strikes. No 1-0. Now the 1-1 coming to Rayburn. Checked. It was a little bit inside. They appeal. He did not go, says Mark Wagner down at first. 2-1 for Rayburn now. A little bit low. 3 balls and a strike. So Rayburn's in a good spot here. Lester a little frustrated. He walked Reynolds, and now he's behind Rayburn 3-1. Let that frustration get the better of him. And Rayburn maybe get a pitch to hit and tee off. Caught the corner, full count.
Well, not much you could do with that pitch, so you just spit on it and take it. Live for another swing.
Absolutely. Mark Reynolds will get a head start at first. Although it won't be much of one with Lester on the mound.
That's exactly right. Make sure he's going to the plate.
And the payoff pitch right to the shortstop, Drew. He'll go the long way to first. And the inning is over. 4 complete. Boston with a 2-1 lead. Wireless receiver only from AT&T Uverse. Rethink possible. By your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. And by Panini's with 19 locations in Northeast Ohio. We go now to the 5th inning with Boston on top 2-1. Pedro Siriaco, Jacoby Ellsbury, and Shane Victorino. Now, one thing McAllister did early in this game is he limited Boston's offensive attack to 1 run. In the first 3 innings this year, Boston has scored 54% of their run total, which is why they're 9-0 when they score first, because they scored a ton of runs early.
With their pitching, too, as good as it is, that's a pretty good philosophy. Give me a couple runs early and we'll hold on, fellas. Of course, that's not going to stay that way all year, but I'll tell you, it's a good way to start and a good mindset to be in early in the year. Because, you know, you start believing, okay, if we get that lead early, we're in pretty good shape. Of course, you know, when they go home and they play in that ballpark that they play in, you're never out of a ball game. And, you know, those games there last for hours. And you can see some strange things in that ballpark and some big comebacks.
It may sound brutally elementary, but the old baseball guys say, you score 1 early, it takes 2 to beat you. And that's the kind of mindset you have.
Yes.
You get ahead early, and then, as you say, the key is you get ahead early, and then you add. You keep adding on.
Well, they have a kind of a team that can add, but their pitchers start believing, like, okay, we settle in and, you know, we hold it. It's like any team. If you don't score a lot of runs and you're in the ball game early and you score 1 from the 6th inning and you have a good bullpen like the Indians have done, and that was their MO for winning. When you get that one, your bullpen's only as good. I mean, your offense is only as good as that bullpen. You give me 1 when we need it, and we'll win it.
Ellsbury socks 1 to deep left. It's off the wall. Brantley couldn't make the play. He's in the second. Ellsbury is with a 1-out double. Second ball hit off the wall by a Red Sox hitter tonight. One went for a triple. This one for a double.
Well, it's a good thing that ball came off the wall and deflected off Michael. He hits the ball a long way to left center field. And watch, if it gets by him, that's a triple with his speed. But I'll tell you, Drew Stubbs did a nice job of, hustling over there to back him up and play anything that comes off the wall. But he ran it right into the wall, and it just settled down now for his body. So Ellsbury only with a double. So out of their 4 hits tonight, 3 of them have been extra base hits. The triple by Napoli, the home run by Saltalamacchia, and this double here.
Yeah, 2 off the wall, 1 over the wall. Shane Victorino has bounced to second, fouled out to third. Up and away, 2-0.
I'll tell you what, the Red Sox have done a nice job of going the other way in the series. They have 33 hits. 13 have gone the other way, just like that double. They've got 2 straight up the middle, and they pulled 8 in the series. So they have not been opposed to taking you the other way. And there's the
center field. That's going to drop for a hit. Stubbs charging, fires to the cutoff man over his head, and a beautiful 1-hop throw to the plate. Ellsbury did not get a good break. He wasn't sure if it was going to stay up enough for Stubbs to catch it. That's why he didn't make a play toward home. First and third with 1 out now.
Yeah, off the end of the bat, and you're right. He didn't. Let's take a look. He just sort of hesitated, and then he thought he was going to make it up, and no siree. Stubbs comes up and makes a very nice throw. 1 hopper. So now you do have a double play in order, but this is a guy that he's going to try and shoot you the other way.
Well, he walked in the third. That means that Pedroia has been on base safely in every game so far this year for Boston, all 15. That's up high. Good breaking ball. Dropped it over the inside corner, and it's 1-1. Now the way Lester is pitching for Boston, he's limited the Indians to just 2 hits. McAllister in a tough spot here, trying to keep the Red Sox from adding to their 1-run lead. The 1-2 popped up. Swisher to the railing. Can't get to it. Now, the one thing the Red Sox have done against McAllister, granted they haven't roughed him up. He's pitched pretty effectively, but they've made him throw a lot of pitches. He's closing in on 100 here in the 5th inning with only 1 out.
Notorious for doing that. Them, the Yankees, even though they are aggressive, they still make you work to get them out. I mean, when they hit the ball hard, it seems like they get hits when they go early in the count, and then if you fall behind them, they make you throw 6, 7 pitches. Look at it, they foul off tough ones to just stay alive. Yankees do that. They're used to it because they play in that little ballpark, man, and you just get a piece of it. It goes into the seats. They have had 10 batters tonight that have seen 5 or more pitches. So that makes you work. And we're in the 5th inning.
And they're due to get David Ortiz back this weekend.
Yes.
The 1-2. Wow. Well, it doesn't help McAllister that he hasn't been able to get anything close from Mike Winters. The home plate umpire.
Well, look at Santana sitting off the plate. He's sitting off there, and it's got some comeback.
And that's fine, but you know, if you're going to ring up Cabrera on a ball off the plate, then you know, it's okay. Flip one over on the other side. Same pitch, same result. 3-2.
Well, it would only be appropriate if this guy walks or gets on, he comes up with the bases loaded, because he's been doing it all series. See if McAllister can get himself a ground ball double play to get out of this inning. Keep it a 2-1 game. That's what he's looking for.
Bullpen is busy for the Tribe. Pitch number 99 for the big right-hander, Zach McAllister. Victorino takes off, and a line drive base hit into right field. That'll score Ellsbury. Victorino will go to third. 3-1 Red Sox.
Yeah, how good was that at bat, boy? Worked him. He had him down in the count, and he just continued to work it. Got a pitch to his liking, slapped it the other way. Victorino was off and running, and they continue at first and third. This has pretty much been their offense this series. Look at it. It's a fastball away. It's about the same spot as the other two were, and this time he wasn't taking it. That's 6 hits now for the Sox.
Nick Hagedorn getting loose. Victorino is at third. Pedroia is at first. Still only 1 out in the inning. And Mike Napoli coming up. Bases aren't loaded, but he's got 2 more aboard. He had 2 on in his last at bat. First time he came up, he led off the inning. One of the few times in this series that he hasn't had a lot of runners on base. He's had, this will be now 21 men on base in his 13 plate appearances in this series.
That's as many people that are out in Chesterland. 21.
And they're all at your house. How about Napoli, too? He tripled in the second inning. He came into this game with 4 straight games having at least a double and 1 RBI. Oh, 2 the count. Boy, McAllister quickly gets ahead as he goes over 100 pitches on the night. It's outside. Up and away that time. 2 balls, 2 strikes. You know, the pattern has been when he has gotten ahead, everything starts away, and it's away off the plate. And these Boston hitters, because Mike Winter's not calling it, they're not biting.
Well, and it's all hard stuff. Don't forget about that breaking ball that's getting these guys down in the count. You know, they're not opposed to swinging at it in the dirt either, like that.
Strikes him
there
out.
There you go. Take him off the heater.
Pedroia picks up his second stolen base of the night. He gets into scoring position, but with 2 down. It will bring up Daniel Nava.
Watch. I mean, it's fastball when he gets ahead and he tries to put you away. There's nothing wrong. That's a beautiful pitch.
Yes, it is.
Get him to chase that breaking ball. We said that second time how effective that was to this lineup. You're going through the 3rd time now, so you better use everything in your arsenal.
Daniel Nava, an RBI single in the second, called out on strikes his last time up. They're going over the signs now with that runner at second base.
Well, and also you've got the left-hander Nava and first base open and Gomes on deck, so they could be talking about a sequence on how they want to pitch Nava. Got to shut them down here. Keep it a 2-run ball game. You know, he's earned the right to stay out there and get through this inning.
Outside for ball one.
You know, because you had Hagedorn up, getting loose. You figured he'd be in for a left-hander, but no, sir. This is going to be Zach's opportunity. Get through the fifth.
1-0 pitch. Down in the dirt, 2 balls, no strikes. Santana goes out for another chat. Especially now that the count's 2-0, as you said, this was probably part of the the game plan. Look, see if you can get him to chase. If you fall behind, maybe just put him on.
Yeah, there. Go ahead and put him on. I don't know why he had to go out and talk to him. Just put the 4 up and say, "Let's go." What'd he say?
What do you think about putting him on? Okay.
Fine. Get back there and give me 4.
All right, so ball 4. Nava takes his base, and now Johnny Gomes with the bases loaded and 2 down. Gomes struck out his last time up. Bounced to third in his first trip up in the second inning. It's only the 5th, but a huge moment in the game right now. 3-1, Red Sox lead it. As McAllister tries to get through this inning and keep it a 2-run game. Low ball 1. Out of play. Evens it up, 1 ball, 1 strike. Fastball away, fouled out of play to the right. And now McAllister 1 strike away from getting out of the jam. But as we have seen all night, getting ahead is one thing. Putting them away quickly has been another. He does have 7 strikeouts, but he's had to work hard for almost every one of them. 1-2 pitch. In on the ground. Big hop for Swisher. He'll flip it to McAllister, and the inning is over. Red Sox get a run, but they leave them loaded. Halfway home, Boston on top, 3-1. giving up 3 runs. Worked out of a bases loaded jam to get out of the top half of this 5th inning. He's kept the Indians in it. And against a guy like John Lester, that's paramount, especially the start he's gotten off to this year. Bottom third of the inning, Mike Aviles leading off, looks at ball 1.
Well, the most pitches he's thrown in an inning, Lester, has been 20. He did it in the 1st and in the 4th inning. Coming in here, 71 pitches, 42 strikes. But they haven't been able to generate a whole lot. They had a 2-out single back on the 1st off the bat of Carlos Santana. Leadoff double by Reynolds. And that's been it. They had a walk last inning, 2-out walk, but
One, 2. Up high, 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Avila shoots it back out of play to stay alive. It's one thing to play behind a guy all season long, as Aviles did last year in Boston. Now you got to stand in there and face these guys.
well, that's okay. I mean, you know what he likes to throw sometimes, certain situations. If he's playing shortstop and in the middle of the diamond, get a great look.
That's true.
At what this guy's throwing. You know what he likes to throw in certain counts, how he pitches hitters. So, you know, you have that in your mind. Now you have to take that approach to the plate and try and figure him out and just see what his stuff does. A little different with the stick in your hand as opposed to the letter.
2-2. Rip deep left field.
But it
Nava
works.
back, looking up. It is off the top of the wall. Aviles will have to hurry. He slides in safely with a leadoff double. Boy, Mike Aviles just missed hitting it out of here. But the Indians have their leadoff man aboard for the 2nd time tonight, and both times it's been a leadoff double.
Well, I think he thought he got enough of it to get out of here, but it did not. I mean, it hits the auxiliary scoreboard, played nicely out there by Nava. You know, and they have the practice over there in Fenway coming off the monster. This is the mini monster here, and he plays it well. Look at bare hands, gets it in. Aviles has to hustle, but it's a leadoff double. So here you go. Make an answer. Look at, he's going to go. He thought he got it. Now you got to kick it in gear when you see it hit the. Yeah, he was cataloging the first home to first, but he gets in there.
I think the wind is knocking it down in left field.
Very well could. If you look at the ones at the top of the scoreboard, they're blowing straight in.
Yep. Cord Phelps slowly hit toward short. That'll get Aviles to third. 1 away. In-game recap brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. It was Mike Aviles with a ground out in the 2nd inning, plating Mark Reynolds with the Tribe's first run. It tied the game, but then Jared Saltalamacchia lined one out of here to make it 2-1 Boston, and then Dustin Pedroia with a base hit to make it 3-1 Red Sox. And that's where we stand as the Indians try to come back now. Lester, in his first 3 starts this year, had given up 2 extra base hits. He's given up 2 here tonight, and all 4 have been doubles. He has not allowed a home run, but he almost did to Aviles. In fact, on just about any other night at this ballpark, that's a home run. But here tonight, with that strong wind blowing in from left but shooting out to right center, it knocked it down. Now got to get him home. Drew Stubbs flied to right his first time up. You take another one of those right here. That's up and away, 1-1. Drew has gone 5 for 20 against left-handed pitching so far this year. Bounces it to second. That'll get the run home. 2 down, but the Indians have played small ball here tonight, and then they've scratched out 2 runs against John Lester, and it's back to a 1-run game. Stubbs with his third RBI on the year.
Well, 2 times tonight they've been able to come back and respond and answer the runs put on by the Red Sox. So, good deal. It comes back to being down 1. Haven't been able to get the key hit. But, boy, you get those leadoff men aboard and they come around to score, and it's happened 2 times for the Tribe tonight.
Back to the top of the order, Michael Brantley. It was Brantley who was rung up his last time up on a poor call by home plate umpire Mike Winters that had Brantley visibly upset. And as Rick said, usually Michael very
he's mild-mannered. He knows the strike zone and he knows everything. So, you don't take an at-bat away from a guy in a situation like that. And it was just a bad call by Winters, and he knew it, I think, after the at-bat. But that's okay. Michael had his say. You walk back to the dugout, and he's not going to do it again. I will say this tonight. For Michael, he's had a couple pitches to hit, and he's fouled them off. And normally, early in the year when he was swinging it, he didn't miss pitches. He hit them, put them in play, and hit them hard. But he's fouled off some pitches that he has had to hit tonight.
Outside, 2 balls, 1 strike. Fouled right back.
Another good swing, but a foul ball. Matter of fact, Brantley last year was the toughest batter to strike out in the league. Averaged 1 every almost 11 at bats.
2-2. And Brantley out looking for the second time tonight. But the Indians get a run back, and they trail it now 3-2. Inning, it's time for today's Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen. And it will be the former Boston left-hander Nick Hagedorn for the 3rd time this year.
Well, the big lefty's coming on for the 3rd time. Now it's a matter of holding the fort. Zach McAllister went his 5 innings, total of 112 pitches tonight. And the pitch count seemed to go up for Nick after the first inning, but the shortest number of pitches he had was 18. 19 in the second, 23 in the third, 22 in the fourth, 30 to get out of the 5th. But Boston, they battled. They had 20 foul balls, and Zach had 4 full counts. But he had some good stuff. and had some very good pitches to this guy in his last at bat that didn't get called. And he ended up hitting a solo home run, and that was a two-out solo homer.
Hagedorn and Santana with a chat before we start the inning. Saltalamacchia turning around about right-handed now after he homered from the left side back in the 4th inning.
Only 5 at-bats from this side of the plate. He's 1 for 5 on the year.
That got Santana. And he's going to need a moment to collect himself. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. And Santana will have to shake it off. Where'd this get him exactly?
Well, let's take a look. Direct hit to the chest. That's where the padding's at. Normally we see him get hit something that's not exposed. It gets a hand, a finger, right, a direct hit off the mask.
Here's the AT&T Uverse rewind. Let's go back and look at that at bat Saltalamacchia had in the 4th inning.
Breaking ball missed. Another one he goes after. 1-1. Pretty good pitch right there. Didn't get the call. Okay, now it's 2-2. Comes back. Fouled off that pitch. Just missed right there. And then left that fastball out over, and he pulls it into their bullpen. 2-out solo home run, but there were some awfully close pitches there for Zach McAllister.
Weekly bounce to third. Mike Aviles will set, throw. 1 away. The injury report tonight brought to you by Elk & Elk. Serious lawyers for serious injuries. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. The closer, Hanrahan, placed on the DL before the series began. David Ortiz, they're expecting him back this weekend when they go home. And it sounds like John Lackey will be back in the rotation very soon as well. So that's good news for the Red Sox, because when Lackey walked off the mound after his last start, we were on the road when that happened. It looked really bad.
Is it a bicep or a tricep?
Bicep, yeah. And they thought initially it looked like, uh-oh, he might have blown out. But Stephen Drew 0 for 2 on the night. A strike called runs the count to 0-2. Breaking ball wouldn't chase. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Toronto still shutting out the White Sox 3-0. Don't know if that's Dickey still in the game, but obviously, he's had a good outing. He went 6 innings, I'm told, so the bullpen now on for Toronto. 2-2. Telling us that Dickey only went 64 pitches in his 6 innings of work. That's interesting. You wonder if maybe there might have been something.
Maybe a nail problem or something with the knuckleball.
You have to wonder.
There's no way they take him out after 66 if he's throwing a shutout.
Swing and a miss. Hagedorn strikes out Drew, 2 down. Back to the Hyundai Studios. Here's Al.
Hey, man, let's head to New York. Arizona and the Yankees here in the top of the 6th inning. Martin Prado, his 3rd home run of the year, put the Diamondbacks ahead 2-0 at the time. Robinson Cano hit a homer in the bottom half of the frame. It's now 2-1 Diamondbacks, 7th inning in New York. Matt?
All right, thanks, Al. Pedro Siriaco has walked and flied to center. Hit foul over into the camera bay. Mad Dog.
Pick it up, Chris. Pick it up.
He's too focused. He is locked in.
Danny Menelick got it, though.
The 0-1. Missed inside. Siriaco 0 for his last 7 at the plate. Chased the high fastball.
Boy, did
count
he
1
ever.
and 2. That was eye high.
That was neck high. Yeah, that was up there. Let's see if he drops a big curveball or goes back up there and elevates a fastball.
Breaking ball, but he missed with it. You have to be tempted as a pitcher. If a guy swings at one neck high, you've got to be tempted to go right back
Well,
up there
yes,
again,
you certainly could, but you can also change his eye level and start your curveball out at his eyes and then break down in. You just throw it for a strike.
2-2. Hit well. Deep left.
No, not
back
in the
is
wind.
Brantley on the track. Pulls it down. And the Red Sox go 1-2-3. Middle of the 6th. 3-2 Boston.
On the mound, coming on to face Cabrera, Santana, and Swisher in the Indians lineup. Swisher's allowed 3 hits. 2 times tonight the Indians have had leadoff doubles in the 2nd and in the 5th, and both times they have been able to come around and score.
There's Dribble Cabrera 0 for 2 on the night. Struck out his last time up.
Matter of fact, they got him over and got him in with 2 ground ball outs to the infield. Both times. So offensively, the Indians still not firing by any means on all cylinders. They came into tonight's action 13th in the league in batting average, 14th in runs. They haven't been able to get the table setters and create any offense. You know what I mean? Mix in 3-4 hits in an inning.
I like
Beautiful.
it. Cabrera with a beautiful bunt. Siriaco, barehand grab and throw. Tell you what, he made it a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. But Cabrera lays down a beauty, and the Indians get their leadoff man aboard.
For me, that is a heads-up play. When you're struggling to get hits and you need a base runner What does he do? He drops down. Watch Lester. He's going to the one side of the mound. He just looked at it. But I'll tell you what, Siriaco did make a nice play on it. Wasn't going to get him. Look how deep he was playing. He was giving him the bunt. So Cabrera takes it. It's an infield single. It drives leadoff man aboard.
And it brings up Carlos Santana, 1 for 2 with a base hit back in the first inning. Santana taking a called strike.
I like that thought process right there. Really do.
Well, especially when you've only got 3 hits as a team.
Well, Lester comes back and makes his pitch, though.
Tell you what, that's something he's been good at his whole career, too. That's his 109th double play that he has induced since 2009, second most among American League pitchers. Next Wednesday night, join Jim Donovan, Tony Grossi, and Doug Deacon for the Sunday Strategy Draft Preview. They'll review the position needs for the team and break down who might be the team's first pick. Sunday Strategy Draft Preview next Wednesday at 7 on Sports Time Ohio. You don't think generally as left-handers being ground ball guys.
Well, you don't think of him as you're right, a sinker ball pitcher or that where he's going to get the ground balls out. You would never guess his name when you just gave that stat about second most ground ball double play since 09. That's.
You know what's weird, though? You know who leads it? Felix Hernandez. Another guy you wouldn't necessarily think of as being a ground ball machine.
He could be a swing and miss guy, and he can get you to just, top it. Well, in the last 2 games, our 1-2 hitters in the lineup were 0 for 12 until that bunt Cabrera laid down. So that goes to show you a little bit how much they miss Michael Bourne, at least in this series.
Yeah, for Michael Brantley, only the 6th time in his career that he has had a 3 strikeout game. Swisher lines one to center, and it stays up long enough for Ellsbury to grab it. 6 complete. Boston 3, Cleveland 2. And you get a look in from our Panini Cam, brought to you by Panini's Bar and Grill. Three-two Boston as we go to the 7th inning. Jacoby Ellsbury doubled and scored in the 5th inning, and that is the difference in the game. Slashes at foul. He just missed hitting a home run. Back in inning number 5. Down low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Two balls and a strike to count for Ellsbury. And that's roped into right field. All right, let's get the answer to our AT&T trivia question. 3 Red Sox with 200 or more hits, 30 or more homers, and 100 ribbies in a season.
I know Jim Rice is one.
Mo Vaughn, the hit dog. The third one, though, is the most obvious of all, huh? The guy standing right out there in front of us.
He should have won the MVP that year. Didn't do it. I think he should have. I think that's the year Justin Verlander won it. They gave the MVP to a pitcher.
Well, we've got a timeout because it's time for today's Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen. And it will be Brian Shaw coming on when we come back. Brian Shaw coming on for the 6th time this year. Jacoby Ellsbury leading the league with 7 stolen bases now after he swiped one earlier.
Swiped third base. Back in the 3rd inning on the double steal. Here's a guy at the plate that can do just about anything with the bat. Hit it the other day. He could bunt if you need him. The guy at first could steal a base. You could play a little hit and run. You could do whatever you want with this combination on base.
Chopper towards second. Cord Phelps bobbles it, flips it, not in time. And so now the Red Sox have 2 on with nobody out.
Well, as a play, you have to get an out. You're not going to turn a double play. You have to catch it cleanly and get the out. And once he didn't, watch Victorino hustling. It's a tough hop, but he didn't get it cleanly and tries a backhanded flip, and Victorino beats it out. So another error, which is 12 made by the Indians this year. And they can ill afford to give them any more base runners here.
Dustin Pedroia will be the batter. Pedroia, an RBI single to right field his last time up. Fastball hit in the air, deep right field. Back is Rayburn. On the track. At the wall, he makes the catch. Ellsbury will tag and go to third. Red Sox at the corners, one very loud out.
Well, another 2 base runners for somebody that hasn't seen this series.
Yeah.
Here he comes again. Mike Napoli.
.23 men on base in his 14 plate appearances in the series. He has 13 RBIs in his last 9 games. His triple in the second inning extended his hitting streak to 7 games. Shaw lets it fly. Napoli swing and a miss. The 0-1. Out of play, no balls, 2 strikes. Here in the 7th, Boston with a 1-run lead, but threatening with runners at the corners and 1 out. Shaw trying to put Napoli away. He has struck out in each of his last 2 plate appearances. Napoli just serves it to right field. Scoring is Ellsbury. Victorino on his way to third. And Napoli makes it a 4-2 Boston lead.
They gave him something he could reach, and he slapped it the other way. Although Ellsbury would have been on second base, you could see. Look at that emergency swing. He waited to that ball track deep. I mean, give credit right there. That's just a pretty good job of trying to get that runner in from third base. Ellsbury scores his 2nd run. It's now a 4-2 game.
That run charged to Nick Hagedorn. Daniel Nava taking its low, ball 1. There's a fastball called for a strike. Now Shaw comes set. High pop. Center field. Stubbs. Tagging up at third is Victorino. Will he challenge him? He will. Here's the throw. And it's cut off by Swisher, but bobbled, and down to second goes Napoli. So 2 down, and the Red Sox add a run. 5-2 the score as Nava gets his second RBI on the night.
Yeah, that's a ball that should have been cut, and they take it and get the guy out at second base because he wasn't going to throw out Victorino at home plate. So that error comes around to score. It's now a 5-2 game, so they take advantage, extra outs. But this team in this series, they first and third you. They get the table setters on, and boy, they just continue to add on. But they had that big second inning where there's 7 runs because of the walks in game 1. But after that, they've continued to get 1, add on, 1. They're nonstop.
Well, the Red Sox have batted .400 in the series with runners in scoring position. And we've seen a lot of failures because they had the bases loaded a number of times last night and weren't able to come up with the big hit to blow that game open.
Well, it looks good when you hit with runners in scoring position, doesn't it?
Mike Carp pinch hitting. Yeah.
I mean, there's times where you can't buy a hit with somebody on base or in scoring position. Other times, and you're right, they hit .400, but they could have many more runs in this series. The opportunities were there.
Mike Carp crushed the ball last night a number of different times up. Smashes this into right field. Napoli coming around third to wave him home. Rayburn's throw to the plate, and he is safe at home. 6-2 Boston. Mike Carp with an RBI. It was a close play. The throw up the first base side, and Santana tried to get back.
Yeah, watch. I think the foot
tag
gets on the plate by the time Santana can play. See, he's in the left-handed batter's box. He comes in to apply it. The foot's on the plate by the time he tagged him up on the right around the knee. And by that time, I think the foot was on the plate. A nice try. If that throw was another foot or two toward the plate, he would have had him. Napoli comes in, makes the slide, and they add on 1 more. 3-run 7th for the Sox.
Obviously, the error is costly.
Yeah. Can't give a team that's swinging the bats like they are an extra out in an inning and expect to hold them down, especially when you get through the top part of the lineup.
Inside, he missed a ball and 2 strikes. Strikes him out to end the inning, but the damage is done. Boston strikes for 3 here in the 7th to take a 6-2 lead, and it's time for the 7th inning. 6-2 Boston as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Mark Reynolds, Ryan Rayburn, Mike Avila's coming up for the Tribe as they once again will try to dig out of a hole. Only this time, it's their biggest deficit of the evening. Down 4. Reynolds has doubled and scored. He has also walked. Takes inside ball 1.
Well, Lester hasn't given up many hits, just the 4 hits in the 21 at-bats. He has 9 ground ball outs, 4 strikeouts.
He went too far, says Mike Winters. The home plate umpire making the call. 1-2 to count. 61% for strikes. Up high.
Yeah, the Indians tonight don't have a hit with a runner on base.
That's foul out of play to the right. Well, John Lester was the man that Terry Francona handed the ball to for Game 4 of the 07 World Series, as Lester helped finish off the sweep of the Colorado Rockies. 2-2 pitch. Hit well to left, but right at Daniel Nava, who reaches down to grab it. 1 away. As promised earlier, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Game 1, the 1995 Division Series, and Albert Bell going deep into the night. And we played what seemed like forever, didn't it?
That was deep into the night.
Tony Pena off Zane Smith, the game winner in Cleveland's first postseason game since 1954. Ryan Rayburn is flied out, grounded out. They've been going back and forth in Baltimore tonight. Orioles have come back to take a 6-5 lead over the Rays now. Fouled back to the screen. Andrew Miller up, getting loose for the Red Sox. Even up 2-2. Payoff pitch fouled away. I tell you, a team we haven't talked much about that might be a surprise. The Colorado Rockies. They crushed the Mets tonight. They are 11-4. They lead the NL West. They've won 6 in a row.
Keep the snow out of their ballpark and they'd be really good.
Well, they haven't lost at home. 6-0.
Well, they can score. Can they pitch?
Rip foul. Look out. Man, that got into the seats in a hurry. Lester wants the fastball away. And Rayburn pulls it to short. Stephen Drew off balance throw, got him 2 away.
Season tickets assure you the best seats at the lowest prices, and only season ticket holders get Tribe Rewards. That gives you access to unique opportunities. Full and partial season ticket plans are on sale now.
12,936 the attendance here tonight for the series finale and the last game of the homestand. And Tribe will hit the road after tonight's game. 10 games in 11 days. Houston, Chicago, and Kansas City.
Going to be a 4-gamer wraparounder in Kansas City. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
First look at the Royals since spring training. Bayless says, huh? He does not like the call. Mike Winters has really had an inconsistent night behind the plate, but that's not something you're putting the game on. Lester's pitched very effectively, and the Red Sox took advantage of one miscue. But that, you know, when you're going well, and Boston's won 5 straight, you do that. You get an extra out, you pounce on those mistakes, and you make the other guy pay for it. 2-strike pitch. 5th strikeout for John Lester. The Indians go 1-2-3. We go to the 8th. 6-2 Boston. And may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. John Farrell gives a pat on the back and a handshake to John Lester, who pitched well here tonight. Looks like his night will come to an end after 7 innings of work. Meanwhile, Brian Shaw back to work here in the 8th inning facing Stephen Drew. Drilled deep right. Nice running catch made by Ryan Rayburn. 1 away. Tonight's box score brought to you by your Northern Ohio Hyundai dealers. Jacoby Ellsbury, an 8-game hitting streak now. Doubled, scored a couple of runs. Mike Napoli continues his tear in the middle of the lineup. Siriaco 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. And the count quickly 0-2. Throw it right by him, 2 down. Rick, it'll be interesting to see what the Indians encounter when they go down to Houston.
Oh, yeah.
As we take a look at John Lester's night.
Well, another good performance here in this ballpark. Looking to go 4-0, and he had Cabrera rattled and a lot of ground ball. What do you have? 9 ground ball outs. Got the double play when he needed it. 7 quality innings. There's his catcher, Saltalamacchia, coming up to say good job.
The Astros have lost 5 in a row. They are 4-11 on the year. I mean, this probably falls under the category of you got to worry about yourself before you worry about somebody else. But, I mean, that's a club that we knew coming into the season was going to be in for a tough road to hoe. They're in a tough division. They have a ridiculously low payroll, which what does that equate to? A lot of youth and inexperience.
Well, true. But that doesn't stop the desire in the guys that want to play.
Not at all.
You know, they're 1-5 at home. And that first win came on opening day when they were playing the Texas Rangers, if you recall.
That's right.
On Sunday night. So you never know what we're going to see. You're going to see a new manager, new kids. You go out there, we're not facing their best. He pitched yesterday, went 2/3 of an inning out in Oakland.
Here's the 1-2 to Ellsbury. Fouled back. I mean, last year, if you remember, the Indians went to Houston, won the first game, and you're thinking, it's a team you want to get healthy and get on a roll against. They lost the next 2.
Went to
and
New
it
York.
Spun him out of control.
Yeah.
But at some point, this team's got to get back on track somehow. In danger of dropping their 4th straight here tonight unless they can rally in their last 2 at-bats. There's a flip. Shaw covers, beats Ellsbury to the bag. Red Sox go 1-2-3. Bottom of the 8th coming up. Drive down 6-2. Captain Morgan rum. Raise a glass always in moderation. Andrew Miller coming on to pitch now for Boston. Left-hander. Scheduled to face Cord Phelps, Drew Stubbs, Michael Brantley.
Well, this guy has turned it around for himself. He comes into this situation now, and this guy gets it into the mid-90s. You know, he knows he's going to go an inning, maybe 2 innings, and he just rears back and lets it go. Good breaking ball to go with it. Phelps has grounded out to short twice tonight.
Last year was Miller's first full season pitching in relief. And he was named the Red Sox Fireman of the Year by the Boston Baseball Writers.
He took to the bullpen very well up there, didn't he?
Well, left-handers didn't fare very well against him. They hit 149 against him for the year.
Well, he's a big, tall drink of water, man, and he gets it up there, and he's got a good breaking ball to go with it.
He's falling behind Phelps, 3-1. Fouled out of play and a full count. Chris Perez getting some work in the Tribe bullpen. Some guys go to the barber and say, take a little off the top. He says, take a little off the bottom. He got the inch or so removed in the bottom of those locks of his. You know, we were talking about Houston. How about Miami? There's another club with a very low payroll, trying to rebuild things down there. They're 3-12, and Cincinnati is beating them right now down on the riverfront, 11-1 in the 7th inning.
Well, they just hit their first home run at home the other day.
Phelps out looking, 1 away. Miami did?
Yeah.
Well, we mentioned tomorrow night we will greet you from the Lone Star State as the Indians take on the Houston Astros. And these are the matchups. Lucas Harrell going against Brett Myers. And Philip Umber, the former White Sox pitcher, will go up against Scott Kazmir. Looking forward to that. Kazmir making his Indians debut. He felt strong in his last outing in Columbus.
Going back home. He's from the Houston area.
Drew Stubbs drove in a run for the Tribe his last time up in the 5th. Tampa Bay has come back, tied up with Baltimore, 6-6 that game in the 8th inning. Away, 2-1 to count. There's Scott Kazmir, who made the club out of spring training, and he was really looking forward to making his first start, which would have been against the Tampa Bay Rays, his former club. But he suffered an oblique injury, an abdominal strain, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. I did their pregame show down there. There's still a lot of people in Tampa that like this guy. They wanted to see him pitch because he was their man down there for a while before they got good.
All they had to hang their hat on for a while. You're right.
Know, so they wanted to see him come up, and they were wishing him well and everything. So we'll see. Saturday he gets a crack at it.
I think everybody's rooting for him. I mean, he's come a long way back. Pitched in the independent league last year. 3-2. Ball 4. Drew Stubbs draws a walk. That's Drew's 4th walk in the series. Well, let's go back and revisit our keys to the game. Limit the Sox early. And as I mentioned, that was done well by Zach McAllister tonight, but they just couldn't get many scoring chances against John Lester.
Well, they don't have a hit with a runner on base. Both their runs driven in tonight were ground ball outs to the infield because they had leadoff doubles.
Which, hey, it did do the little things to scratch out some runs, keep themselves in it. But it's a tough way to make a living,
not the way Boston's swinging a bat. You're not going to score 2 and win. Unless your guy is just brilliant. And that just – they have 9 hits again tonight.
Well, Miller is falling behind Brantley now 2-0. Koji Uhara getting loose now for Boston. Brantley has struck out 3 times tonight, and then the last 2 were called strikes. And he didn't like either one of them. The one in the 3rd inning was not even close to being a strike. That'll even it up 2-2. Left field, it will fall in front of Nava for a base hit. The Indians with just their 5th hit of the evening.
Almost looked like Michael was looking for that. And the first hit that they got with a man aboard. With 2 strikes, he took that fastball, but look at him. That's a good breaking ball, and that's down, that's away. Michael, a nice job to stay with it and go the other way. As you mentioned, what Miller gives up to left-handers is not much.
Yeah.
And you know what? You take what he gives you, and that's exactly what Michael took right there. That was a good at-bat.
As Dribble Cabrera coming to the plate. He is 1 for 3 on the night, and that one was a beautifully executed bunt single in the 6th. It was still a 1-run game at that point. But then Cabrera was erased on a double play ball off the bat of Santana. A strike call. Back foot slider, 1-1. As Dribble is just 1 for 15 with a runner in scoring position on the year. Good fastball, 96 miles an hour. And a count now 1-2.
Well, there it is. Come get it. He challenged you, and he throws it by him.
Came back to the slider. And it's now 2-2. 11 balls, 11 strikes for Andrew Miller. Drew Stubbs at second base. Michael Brantley at first. The 2-2. Chop towards third. Siriaco will go to the bag, get the force.
Smart.
And that's out number 2. Stay tuned after the game for Indians Live, brought to you by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. We'll go back and look at the highlights. Rick and I will have some final thoughts as we head out on the road trip, and Katie will have a reaction from the clubhouse. We got a timeout. John Farrell's going to go back to his bullpen. He wants Koji Uhara. Andrew Miller exits with the Tribe down 4 here in the 8th. Game for Chuck's last call. Chuck Galletti will take your calls on tonight's game and get you the latest info on what's happening in Cleveland sports, and there's a lot going on. Chuck's last call tonight after Indians Live on Sports Time Ohio. Well, the Red Sox go to the man that nobody can score against. Going back to last year, Koji Uehara has pitched 18 consecutive scoreless innings.
That's some kind of roll, and, sometimes it's tough to carry it over, but we saw him pitch last night in the ball game, and their bullpen was unhittable. It really was. Uehara went an inning, had 2 strikeouts, and they were very good. Their bullpen had 8 strikeouts in the 4 innings that they pitched. So they were excellent. So they're going to have to come up with something here if they want to get back into this game.
Well, one swing of the bat, and the Indians could certainly make things interesting.
Keep it going. Gapper, don't hit the homer. Keep it going. Gapper. Move it along.
Carlos Santana taking a strike. He is 1 for 3 on the night. His base hit came back in the first inning.
You talk about home runs that the Tribe have hit this year. Out of their 17 home runs, 8 of them have been solo shots. So hit a couple doubles first and then go for that big boy with a couple aboard.
Now the 1-1. Up and away. 2 balls and a strike. Santana has 4 hits in 9 at bats with runners in scoring position on the year. And he's in a good spot here with the count in his favor. Boy, he pulled a string on him.
You knew it was going to happen. He was going to go soft, but he helped him out there. He swung at a ball. He wasn't going to challenge him. And watch this. 80 miles an hour is almost like a splitter or a changeup, straight change. Gets him to swing over the top of it. Santana thought he was going to get a heater.
Now the 2-2. Shoots it into the Red Sox dugout, and it pinballs around inside there. Saltalamacchia sprints out to the mound. He wants to have a chat. People always wonder, a lot of the Japanese players have interpreters that help them dealing with the media. But baseball has a universal language, so they can converse and talk baseball. Fastball's fastball.
Throw strike, change up. That's it. Let's go. Just out there telling them what they want him to do. They understand. But he's been around long enough. He knows exactly what's going on.
Now the 2-2. Santana drives one deep right. Back goes Victorino, still going back. It's over his head. Short hops the wall. Scoring is Brantley. Cabrera comes around 30, hit the deck, and he'll have to go back. And he will have to hold there. So it's an RBI double for Carlos Santana. The Indians get a run closer, and now the tying run will come to the plate. With Santana scorched that ball.
Well, this is going to be our McDonald's. I'm loving it. You see, that was the off-speed pitch, but it went away. And Carlos kept his hands back nicely. And that's the first time they've gotten a ball over this guy's head all series long. Cabrera slides because it's a late hold by Brad Mills. Brantley scores. You can't take the chance. With 2 outs, you're down 3 runs, so they hold them up. But now Swisher's the tying run coming to the plate. And a base hit here would really make things interesting.
Nick 0 for 3 tonight. Takes up high, ball 1. Swisher came in, hitting .409 here at Progressive Field on the year. 3 for 10 in the series with that big home run last night. Roped foul as Mike Sarbaugh had to do the shuffle to get out of the way. And Nick he's got a book on you hard. 2 for 6 with a home run. What's left of this crowd at 12,936 up on their feet. And Swisher was going for the downs.
Yeah.
And again, he got the string pulled on him.
He tried to tie it up there, didn't he? He didn't leave anything in the bag. And that ball just never gets there. That good changeup. And that with good movement going down and away. Great location. Took advantage of the big swing there by Nick Swisher.
Cabrera's at third, Santana at second. The 1-2 is a little bit up and away, and that'll even the count.
That's the old Cho pitch. You know, let's go. Well, you just had him out in front. You try and hit the outside corner. You nail your target and show him the fastball. If you miss, it's okay. You're ahead in the count. See if he comes back with his off-speed pitch.
The 2-2.
Sure did.
And he strikes him out. And the inning is over. The Indians get a run, but they trail 6-3 now as we go to the ninth. Boston on top 6-3. Chris Perez coming on now for the Indians. Just the 5th appearance for Perez on the year.
It's just been a strange start because you can't get the guy save opportunities. He's 1 out of 2. Of course, the first one came when we were up in Toronto, game 2 of the year.
Yeah, Chris last pitched against the White Sox on Sunday.
And that was just getting work. That was the Jake Peavy game where, what was it, 3-1?
Uh-huh. No, I was talking to Vinny Pistano about that before the game because bullpen pitchers live in that world of too much work, not enough work. You're trying to walk that fine line. And I asked him, I said, what do you do? What have you learned to make sure that you stay sharp without overdoing it? And he said, I've gotten to the point where I know who I am as a pitcher. I know what I am. I know what I have to do when I come into a game. He said the trick is not getting up on the mound when you haven't pitched in a while and throwing like 20 or 30 pitches, and then the next thing you know, you're used 3 days in a row.
Yeah.
So he said you want to do a little work on the side, but just enough to
stay sharp.
Yeah.
Well, because you never know. I mean, it's a strange game, and you can come back in a hurry. Now, all of a sudden, you've got to get in there. And
that's true. I mean,
again,
you're right. One swing of the bat right there by Swisher, and all of a sudden, the sirens are going in both bullpens.
Okay, now let's go. You're right.
That's how quick it can change. The 1-1. Victorino fouling it back. But I thought it was interesting, with Vinny. You know, once you have an idea, obviously if you're a rookie or if it's your first couple of years in the league, you're still trying to figure things out. After you've established yourself and you've been through the wars a couple of times, you know the grind, you know the deal as Victorino is out looking, and you got a pretty good idea what it takes to keep yourself sharp and keep yourself ready through the lulls and through the times when you're used 4, 5, 6 times in a week.
When Chris Perez has got that pitch working, that slider to go with his fastball, he's awfully tough. Awfully tough when he's throwing that for a strike.
There's Vinny, who's done a terrific job in front of Chris Perez when the situations warrant it. As Rick said, they just haven't been able to get the lead late and be able to turn it over to those two guys. And Joe Smith, for that matter, as well in the 7th inning.
Well, that's when you get a good start. Your offense clicks. You take the lead. That's the good game that you want.
That's the blueprint.
Yeah, that's your foundation right there, what you want to do. And that holds true for every team, not just the Indians. That's with every team.
And sometimes that blueprint, it doesn't work out. Justin Verlander was pitching a dynamite game for the Tigers, but they couldn't score against Seattle. And then Eric Wedge goes to his bench. Kyle Seager hits the first pitch he sees as a pinch hitter into the left field corner. Seattle scores, and they beat Verlander 2-0 was the final there.
Go figure. Yeah. Guys get 3 cracks at him, can't do anything. Bring somebody off the bench, and what do you know?
Yeah, and that wasn't Felix Hernandez because he pitched
last night. Right, and it was a great matchup. That was a 14-inning game.
2-1 game,
Detroit
right?
won, yeah, in 14.
The good news, if you're Seattle, you can say we scored 3 runs in 2 games, but we got a split.
That's not bad.
Or if you're Detroit, you could say we only scored 2 runs in 2 games, but we got a split. So I guess it can go either way. The 2-2. Pedroia lines it right field, right at Rayburn, who makes the head-high catch, 2 down. Stick around for Indians Live coming up following the ball game. Al and Jason will have the highlights. Show you everything you might have missed if you tuned in late. We'll have some final thoughts as we get ready to head out on this long road trip. And Katie will have the reaction from the players and from Terry Francona. All straight ahead on Sports Time Ohio. Mike Napoli, 2 for 4. A triple, a single, 2 scored, and he drove in a run. This was back in the 7th inning. He just reached out and flicked it over the head of
protection
Nick
mode,
Swisher.
man. Protect mode. That ball was up high enough. He was able to put the bat on the ball. Unbelievable.
One and 2 the count. Out of play. Now the 1-2. Another foul back. Well, Chris, for the most part, looks very sharp for having all the time off between outings. Got the good fastball, and he's shown a pretty good slider at times here as well. And that one fouled back by Napoli. Here's another case where, too, we talk about it. Guy made one mistake That probably, if you go back, that's a mistake slider right there.
He left it right in the middle of the plate.
Missed it.
Yeah, he fouled it off. Probably looking away for it, and that ball was right down the middle. So was that.
Drilled to right. Rayburn makes the catch, sliding to the turf, hangs on. And the inning is over. So the Red Sox go 1-2-3. Last chance for the Indians coming up. All right, we go down to the bottom of the ninth. Boston going to their closer, Andrew Bailey, who has taken over with Joel Hanrahan on the disabled list. 1 out of 2 in save situations so far for Bailey. He'll be facing Mark Reynolds, Ryan Rayburn, and Mike Aviles.
Came on last night in his 9th inning and had a couple of strikeouts. No, right now the Indians could use a couple of base runners.
Mark Reynolds takes a strike. He is 1 for 2 on the night. Doubled and scored in the 2nd, walked in the 4th, lined out the left in the 7th inning. Up and in. That ball took off on him. The 1-2. Out of play.
Boy, fall off a tough pitch. Stay alive.
Well, you want to put the pressure on him here.
Yeah, you're just looking at that slider. That's an excellent pitch there by Bailey. Reynolds does everything he can. Fouled it off and stays alive. Hope that he can get something to his liking just to get on. Yep, he did.
No, he did not.
Didn't look like it from back here. He catches a break maybe.
2-2 the count.
Let's look at it from the side view.
Close.
Yeah, it was. It was close.
Bailey fires, and he throws it by him. One away.
Came back after he didn't chase that slider. He challenged him. Came right back with the fastball. And
the location just enough away to where that makes it a tougher pitch to hit.
Well, he's got in the back of his mind, too. He's sitting on that breaking ball because he almost chased one, and he fouled off a tough one right before that. So he says, here, hit that.
Just enough of a seed of doubt, huh?
Yeah.
That's all it takes.
Just enough to look for it. You're not geared up because you got to get geared up to catch 95. You got to, sometimes you have to cheat.
He's 95, and I don't think you pick it up well against this guy either. I mean, he hides it pretty good. I'll bet it's 95, but it gets on you in a hurry. Rayburn down on the count 0-2. Fouled back. That's going to make it to the upper deck behind the plate. Two-strike pitch, and a breaking ball popped him up right at the plate. Saltalamacchia now in front of the track, makes the grab, 2 down. That'll bring up Mike Aviles. Aviles 1 for 3 tonight. Drove in a run with a ground out in the second, doubled and scored in the fifth, and out on strikes his last time up. It's inside for ball 1. Fouled right back. Tomorrow night's game, and 8 o'clock start. Indians Live gets it all started at 7:30. And then Brett Myers. So the rubber for the Tribe against Lucas Harrell beginning at 8 Eastern time. Indians and the Astros right here on Sports Time Ohio. The 1-1. Chopper to short. Drew fires, and the Indians go 1-2-3 here in the ninth. And the Boston Red Sox sweep the series by a final score of 6-3. So Boston has won 6 in a row. They're 11-4, and the Indians have lost a season-high 4 straight as they fall to 4-9. Excuse me, to 5-9. John Lester was terrific. He gets the win. He's 3-0. Zach McAllister, he pitched well. I mean, he kept you in the game, gave you a chance. He drops to 1-2. But the story continues to be offensively, they're not getting anything going right now.
No, they're not. But I'll tell you what, you've got to look at John Lester, who started this game against the Indians, and he was really the man of the night. When you look at the key play today.
Key play of the game brought to you by KeyBank.
He made it look easy. To Lester, he only surrendered 4 hits, a couple of runs. He didn't allow a hit with a runner on base. They got a couple of ground balls on the infield to score their runs. And he got the double play ball, 9 ground ball outs. He was very effective, and again, pitches. He's 4-0 in this ballpark against the Tribe.
KeyBank, proud to be the banking home of the Cleveland Indians. So a disappointing homestand comes to an end for the Tribe. They'll hit the road tomorrow night in Houston. We're coming back with Indians Live next.